added 6+ decibels of gain too. So I'm gonna turn that down just a smidgen. There we go. Now we should be more adequately gained. Hey, is my seat not level? Doesn't feel that way. I'll have to level myself. I see a hearts already. Is that a Joe? Feels like it. Feels like fingers of Joe is like loving me. So much love right back. Yeah, we're here. Hi. I can say indeed. I might have already and forgot, but indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. It is a dear pleasure to have you here. Dude, are you really so cold that your hair attracted into your scalp for warmth? That's exactly what happened. Yep. All of the hair that I have, including my beard, has sucked right back into me. I have recaptured all of that energy, and I am now 50% stronger. I'm reverse. What's that guy's name? Samson. I'm reverse Samson. You know, I had long hair at one point, and the shorter my hair gets, the more Bojacketh I become, and until I'm bald, and I look like Sisyphus. River Coon, good morning to you. Love is true indeed. Love is true. What a pleasure it is to have you friends here with me. Today we're having a conversation about allowing yourself some pride. All right? I grew up in a world where pride is seen as a sin. The ultimate sin. The number one sin. The big bad of all sins is pride. And I am a prideful individual. I take a great deal of pride in the things that I do, in the way that I show up, and the way that I look, and the things that I say, and the things that I keep myself busy with, and the things that I make, and etc., right? Great deal of pride, big pride. And if I had to believe what I've been told, I wouldn't. I would think nothing of myself, and I would just, I don't know, I would just get along, I guess. I feel pride is one of the big motivators in the human psyche. Me and Joe had a conversation just recently about competitiveness amongst human beings, right? And the way that me and her had the conversation was almost like from the perspective of wanting less of that competitiveness amongst one another, right? Realizing that there's more than enough for all of us, so we don't have to compete. However, within biology, right, especially being a man, I produce testosterone. And my level of motivation, my level of drive, my level of competitiveness is directly correlated to my level of testosterone, right? At least scientifically, that's been proven. Scientifically proven to the point where people with higher testosterone are more likely to be wealthy and succeed in that way as well because of that increased drive and competitiveness. So I hold these two concepts in my mind at the same time. You know, one, less competitiveness could be better for all of us, and then the other, more competitiveness is good for me, right? So it's like, ooh, you see the problem we got there. Those pants say the latter. Those pants say the latter. Competitiveness, that I'm not ambitious and competitive. That's the nice thing. That's what it's like a part of the illusion, let's call it. I really don't want to. You know, if I can set you off guard, if I can set you at ease by looking at me, being like, oh, that guy is just a hippie. His ambition is probably just smoking weed all day, every day. Right. Then I am at a competitive advantage against you because I want more than that. And if you think I only want this small set of things, all right, then you can only keep you can only keep what you think I can keep. Meltmore, I'm trying to riz a girl tonight. Advice. Start with not using the word riz. You know, I know that is the nomenclature of the young peoples these days. However, I think it's it has like anti-riz qualities, right? I can't imagine there's a single girl out there right now that hears someone wanting to riz them, right? Like for instance, let's say you see a girl at a distance and you're really liking her and you want to approach her, but little to your knowledge, this girl has super hearing, right? And then you say to your homies, watch me go riz up this girl, right? Before you get there, she's already lost interest because of the super hearing, and she said, she heard you said the riz line, right? So boom, get advised. That's advice number one. Advice number two is let yourself off the hook. All right. Today's stream topic is about pride and confidence. Yesterday we talked about confidence and humility. So pride feels like a natural extension to that topic. Uh, don't get your pride involved. Don't get your pride involved when you're going to go and talk to someone, right? Specifically in the whole fractal of getting yourself emotionally involved and believing that if they say one thing or another, it's going to be disastrous, right? In other words, like being embarrassed. Being embarrassed is the opposite of being prideful, literally, right? So if you show up to, in your terminology, Riz, the girl, and she denies you your advances, that could be hurtful to your pride. And then we know how some men respond when their prides are hurt. They become derogatory, they, say mean things to the person, they might become a shutdown and not approach people again because of that hurt pride. So that would be the other set of advice is show up to talk to this person, not from a place of pride, not from a place of being accepted or not, but just from a place of trying to initiate a conversation, right? One, it takes a very long time for people to actually come together and form a relationship. So in that way, it's hard as well. So don't expect that, at least from the start. Just show up. Just show up, have the conversation, right? Do not expect anything. Maybe that could be another caveat, another layer of advice, right, to the whole pride thing. It's like reduce your expectations to zero, and then anything, right? Them just looking in your general direction is a plus from there on forward. Jovan, clarify for me, are these Riz people the same thing as the milady fedora wearers? No. Fedora milady wearers are like the old school internet Reddit degens, right? The new wave of Riz is like the Gen Zers, Gen Alphas, is the TikTok generation, right? It's new terminology. So when you hear the word Riz, imagine 18 and younger, probably around that age. Good advice, by the way. Thank you, friend. Carlos Gonzalez. Yeah, this is more post HRT Riz. This is more post HRT. HRT. I know what HGT is, human growth. HGH, that's human growth hormone, but that's not what you're talking about. HRT, heart rate? Heart rate Riz? I'm confused, Carlos. You have to give me the cliff notes, bro. Where are you now? I am now in Africa, South Africa to be specific. This is what I got around me. There be mountains and stuff. We're in the middle of nowhere. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Hormone replacement therapy. Ah, yeah, that would help. If you have, there's a cut there, really becoming loud. If you have extremely low testosterone, to the point, like, and again, go and have yourself tested, to the point where having hormone replacement therapy done to you would help. It would definitely increase your risk. Yes, it would. Unironically, it would actually help. Not a recommendation. Hipsters are strange. That they are. Last time she took her shirt off and said, "Great googly moogly." She put her clothes back on and left. Yo, Hamas, Hames, Yassi. That's rough. Oh. Like talking about the whole pride thing. That's one of those things that's very difficult to not have your pride hurt over. When someone says googly moogly, great googly moogly, puts clothes back on and leaves. But if you can remain, good advice by the way, if you can remain mindful, it'll be better. Hormone replacement therapy, thank you. Appreciate the context. All right, I have been gripping these Dynavapors and induction heaters like a babe to the chest. I have some Strokush in here. Has like orangey sharp terpenes, very fruity. Today's stream topic has been about allowing myself some pride, allowing myself the proudness that I might not have gotten from others. So my intention shall be freeing myself from embarrassment, I think, right? I did hit on that line. The opposite of pride is embarrassment. So I'll melt all embarrassments. I think the fedora wearers fall into a category of Riz. Technically, it would be a category of Riz, right? It's like if there were a bunch of categories that were successful, it would be at the bottom of said categories. I'm just like casting so much shade. I'm sorry if you're a fedora wearer. I'm sorry. I don't cast no shades. As in skirt chasers of equal cringe. Yeah. Hearing the word skirt chaser is like so many layers of yikes. I'm going to add heat to this collective system. I will melt all embarrassment, all of the embarrassing things that I've done. Yeah, that does taste the way it's supposed to. It's always like that. This is one of the ones I only have like a small little bit of. Little bits. Just little bits. And the little bits one are always the ones that call for my attention. It's like, yeah, I know there's only little bits left, but rolling up a smoke in Ireland, brother. Bless you, Hamez. Is it the first time that you're here? I think you might have been here one time before. I might remember, but you weren't as vocal. You weren't saying as much last time. If it's your second time here, welcome back again. Yeah, first time. Okay, first time. Welcome. What do you think of this space? I've been doing these live streams. I don't know if you can see the title because of the vertical edness of it, but I've been doing these live streams now for 1,685 days consecutively, showing up day after day. And it is something I'm very proud of. That's why I'm telling you. I'm very proud. I'm so proud of myself. And I wonder, right? After 1,685 days, I worry even sometimes that I'm not entertaining, that I'm not all I cut myself out to be. I had a whole conversation like this with Jovan yesterday about the imposter syndrome that kind of dawns on all of us, where I legitimately believed things would be in a bunch of ways. And everything that is the way it is right now for me is very much due to luck, right? There's a saying that goes, luck is when a preparation meets opportunity, right? And I do a lot of preparing and I keep stumbling into opportunities, but I still feel like it's luck based, right? And luck is not something that I can control for, right? If you think about it from a D&D game perspective, do I have a high roll on luck? Do I have a big luck stat? Do I have a big charisma stat and a low luck stat? Can I gamify my luck stat by my charisma? Can my charisma be gamified by my luck? I know for a fact that I need to keep showing up as much and in as many places as I possibly can, right? That way I almost That way I can create my own luck, I guess, at the very least. Better than zigzags. Yeah, zigzags are rough. Silver is love because my rose ran out. Prairie wolf, bless you, bro. You should consider. I We have this running joke that Sam wants me to stop talking about it so I can stop being considered an influencer. I probably won't try and get you to buy anything. I'll get you to buy my own work. I'm an artist, so I have bias in that, of course. And then the second thing would be this. Oh, this little thingy. All right. I don't have an affiliate link yet. I should just make an affiliate link. That way I can actually get some kickback. But I'll keep selling them until they sponsor me, kind of vibes. This thing is called a Dynavap. It's essentially a mechanical dry herb vaporizer, and you can do nicotine as well, right? So you take your cigarette or your tobacco, let's call it. You take your tobacco and then you put it in that little chamber, and it looks dark, but you should be able to see it. I mean, I am going to be pointing it against the light. I think it should still have some reflective. Yeah, there we go. You see, like that thing is silver down there, basically, because there's nothing being combusted inside that chamber, right? So when you like use a bowl, for example, that little thingy has like those black stuff caked onto it, and that stuff stinks, and the water stinks, right? And you don't want to keep using the water for a long time because it gets more and more rank. There's so many yikes layers, and those yikes layers exist because you are combusting something, because you're actually putting fire to plant material. So in this way, instead of putting fire to plant material, you're just adding the heat that the fire usually provides, right? You're just adding the heat. So all of that stuff that is volatile, that evaporates at different temperatures, just gets almost like liberalized off of the plant material, and then it turns into a vapor, giving you all of the anti-cancer stuff without all of the cancer-inducing stuff. Right? There's my sales pitch. Get sales pitched. They have a cheap one now. They recently, I think like a few weeks ago, came out with a cheaper one. That's only 35 bucks. 35 bucks is still 35 bucks, but it should one save you in the long term on the actual material, and if not in the material, in your health and quality of life. It tastes better than Rizla is the only paper for a young Rizzler like me. What religion are you? I don't subscribe to any particular religion. Big back. Uh, I apply wisdom from Hindu philosophy and religion. I apply wisdom from Buddhist philosophy and religion. I apply wisdom from Christianity. That's the religion I was raised in. But I don't label myself. I am a Buddhist. I am a Hindu. I am a Christian. I am MeltMore. That's who I am. I am this, right? And this thing changes all the time, forever, right? It keeps melting, right? And I can melt away into oblivion, or I can melt more. I can keep recasting myself into the mold that this mind keeps shaping, right? Fall into place. We are everything, dear friend. Blue towelism. You see any blue towel? There's no blue towel now, bro. We have transcended blue towelism as well. Have you ever used a Puffco? I haven't, but I have used a Mighty. I've used that big Mighty, that my unit, $500 US. Is it 500 US dollars? No, 300 US dollars. I think 300 US dollar vaporizer, and that thing was nice. That's the one that I wanted. In fact, actually, now that you ask, Hamas, that's what I was showing up for. So usually on Octobers, I do Sober October, where I abstain from all things that affect me. And I mean all things, like caffeine included. No caffeine, that stuff affects me. No taking it. So I take like a month off, and then I allow myself the experience again. But usually after I take a month off, and since today's stream topic is pride, I feel proud of myself. And in that state of pride, I usually like to treat myself. So I decided, one, I knew that I liked marijuanas. Marijuana. I like it. However, I am very health conscious and I don't want cancers. it's not my vibe to get cancer. And even though the data is pretty conclusive that the anti-inflammatory effects of cannabis kind of like outweighs the carcinogenic effects of combusting something, I'm still combusting something, right? There's still nanoparticulate being inhaled. So I was like, bro, how about you can, partake again, but you don't actually continue smoking stuff. So I basically already made the decision that I'm going to get myself that $300 device. And I'm basically going online. I go to one of the reputable places here in South Africa that does actually sell these devices. And I go I go to purchase it. And I did. I did put aside the cash, right? I had the $300 liquid, if you will, to purchase this thing. And then as I go onto the website, I see this little thing literally on the front page, right? One of those little panels that skip by. I see this little thing and I go, what that? I like metal, one. I like metal a lot. Metal and me have some sort of symbiosis. I want to cast myself in metal. If I can cast myself in metal and still move, that's exactly what I'm going to do. But for now, right? I like metal things, so I click on the page, and then I see the name, and then I go onto the YouTube rabbit hole, and I'm like, how does this thing work? And then it basically dawns that this is basically the thing that I want, only small and mechanical, right? And I understand battery technology well enough to understand it will degrade. And I understand, I don't know if the new Mighties allow you to, but the old ones definitely didn't. Doesn't allow you to replace the batteries in any meaningful or simplistic way. So I don't really want a battery device that I can't change the batteries on. And this thing was basically a quarter of the price, right? So I could have 4 of these for one of those devices. And so it was a no-brainer. And then I ordered it, and it was still expensive by most metrics, right? More money than I've spent on any other weed-related thing, right? The most expensive thing that I've bought myself was maybe a 200 Rand little glass pipe. So 200 Rand is $10, right? So the most I'd spent was $10 on a piece of glass up till that point, and then suddenly dropping $75. It was like, and then it arrives, and instead of arriving in the actual packaging it was supposed to come in, it arrives in a literal little plastic tube. And I don't know if they changed the packaging for shipping purposes, or if there was some sort of customs thing where if it came in the American package, there was like some sort of extra tax on it. Can imagine there being something going on like that. But there was initially this disappointment in me of like, this thing is so small. Why is it so small? I was like, it's a little tiny. I thought it was gonna be like, I don't know, like almost this size, right? Like a cigar kind of size thing. And then it comes and it's like it fits between my index finger and thumb, and like, what? And then we tried it for the first time here on stream. I went to a reputable little shop, and here in South Africa it is legal at the very least to partake, but it's not legal to actually buy any. So you have to sign up at a club, and then this club has a fee, and then this club essentially employs growers. And then when you want to acquire some flower, you have to pay for the work the growers did. And that work is calculated based on the weight. All right. So it's like this almost like jargon kung fu that South Africa is trying to get around. And there's many businesses here that do that kind of stuff. And it's funny how instead of just giving people the proper rails to do things the right way, they keep fucking us around. Anyway, though, get myself something called Francis's cheesecake, right? So you should see the perspective from my side. I, for my whole life, have always enjoyed, Mary Jane. She was always beautiful to me as an experiencer. But every single time the experience was had, there was this either dissatisfaction with or insecurity of the smell and the taste that it leaves on me, right? And then we had that experience for the first time with this little dry hair vaporizer, and it was just nice all around. It tasted good. I didn't feel that sense of heaviness, that throat scratchiness, that bad taste in my mouth was gone. And I became a believer. I became a believer. I like how someone asked me what religion I am, and then I proceed to go into a rant of like like, yeah. That's why I don't believe in religions, because I'm stoked about everything. Oh, everything deserves to be stoked about. If there are nice things that you invite into your life, be stoked about it. Be proud. Be proud of yourself for discovering something that you like even. I'm catching up on the comments. I've missed some. Why is your shirt a child's small? I mean, I mean, I am on a screen probably for you, right? So believe it or not, I am not in fact capable of fitting in your hand. If you're watching me on a cell phone right now, I can't fit in there. I'm not actually big enough to sit on your shoulder like a little dude whispering in your ears. Go and tell that person. Go and tell that person they look nice. Go and tell them. Go and tell them you like their shoes. Only ever used a traditional rig, but I'd love to try a Puff Go. They look so handy. I mean, again, they do have batteries built into them, so that part is nice, right? Uh, this thing, ideally, is supposed to last me a lifetime. I don't actually want to ever get myself another one. I might get myself uh, other ones, but not another one, right? This would be the one that I have. There are ones that have bigger bowl sizes, so they serve a different function. This one is the conversational Dynavap. You have a Dynavap, you have a nice chat. The other one that we're looking at is even more expensive than these ones by a large margin, so it has that as a gatekeeper as well. But it has like 2.5 times the bowl size, right? Big boy bowl size. So that's the one that you vape if you're just gonna like buzz out and watch a movie together, right? There's gonna be no conversationing. We're just gonna be warm on the couch, hiding from the cold. Top notch thinking. Probably top notch king. Bless ya. I don't know if you're still here. Outlaw. Weep Gurana Weep mini bomb. I like edibles don't hurt your lungs. That's true. This is true. His blouse, thank you. Jesus Christ, that's the way and the truth and the life, and no one can get to the Father except through him. Yeah, they say so, right? I believe that Jesus' intention with that message was that you have to go through the I am, right? Not through him, but through the I am that you are, that all of us are, right? You cannot get to God through the world. That was the message, right? You have to get to God through the I am. And that to me means, at least that's the way that I absorb Jesus' teaching, is that you cannot separate yourself from God, right? If you look for God in separation, you're not going to find him. But if you look for God in unity, in oneness with the self, with oneness with everything, you'll find him, or her, or them, or us, or this, the bee flying past you with all of those pollens that they've gathered for their hive. All right, doing a little buzz, letting all of those other bees know that there's nice flowers in this general direction. It's all of it. It's like there is no separation. And the more we can kind of like get behind that idea, I believe the more compassionate we'll become, because we instead of trying to seek God in the world, right? And in that way cast judgment on that which we don't think is God, we'll find God in everything, like the bees, like the trees, like the rainforests, like the oceans. All right, and we'll probably be a little bit more hard pressed to throw a bunch of garbage into God's eyeballs or whatever, you know. Ideally, long term, that shirt says many things. Yeah, judgment has a way of spawning so many different opinions. Just think about the amount of different perspectives that have been had on me today, right? Every single person's eyes looking upon me, seeing something completely differently, every single one of you, right? And then I look at myself in the mirror and I see something that is also not that which I am, technically, right? You can look at yourself in the mirror, see a face, see a body, but you can't see who you are. All right, not in the mirror. You have to live your life to see who you are. I see a heart's coming. You like that? Good. Yeah. Love yourself. Be proud of yourself. You deserve that much. Be wary of false wisdom and philosophy as they intend to deceive. Yes, it's my intention to deceive you. You know, love yourself. Ah, the deceiver, he's here. He's here to deceive us. Yes, I'm deceiving. This is me. This is me deceiving twice. This is deceive too. Stay tuned for Deceive 3, the prequel to what all of the other deceptions. I'm not gonna stop myself. Sorry, I could never chill in South Africa, bro. You have to figure out a way to chill in South Africa, otherwise you'll lose your mind. I started going gray. I think I caught it. I think I caught it, but I was going gray for a second there. I was like, I was stressing so fucking much. I was in a really rough, how do we say, home environment. Pretty rough for a second there, but uh, things changed as they always do. I find myself feeling a little bit more comfortable in my current space. I wonder, experientially, there's only a few of you friends here that probably did see me back then as well, but was I any less chill when I was in that space? I think I was still pretty chill for the most part. I'm looking back on myself and like, yeah, I chilled. I was chilling. I was trying to bring as much chill as I can. I was trying to bring a light heart to what felt like a lot of heaviness, you know. And I could see myself also, I'm seeing it in myself now even. I'm really okay with loss. And that sounds like a fucked up thing to say, but what I mean by that is I have lost a lot in my life. I I lose more and more apparently, right? As I continue to live. That feels like a part of the contract. And I haven't become any less for it. Sure, I might have less money, but I am not less for having lost things. I'm thinking about my Pippi Duggar as well, you know, my dance partner Doggo. Losing her feels like a spiritual blow, but then I think about all of those videos of me and her together, and that's gonna be forever, right? It's gonna be forever. Can't take that away from me. We are more, always, for the experiences we have. It is only about how we frame it. All right, maybe it's about deceiving ourselves, John. Have you ever thought about that? That we might be deceiving ourselves? Keep going live, bro. You're the best. Why did you buy that mic on your t-shirt? One, I don't know if you can't notice it, which is a good thing. But usually when I sit here, see that? There's a bunch of wind coming past me all the time. And if there's no mic on me, the audio sounds like hot ass. And I'm not a vibe for me when I have to like listen to myself over wind noise, right? For instance, I would be very likely to just skip someone's stream if the audio was absolutely atrocious. Like, they might have the most impactful and meaningful thing to say ever, but if the audio is rough to me, because I'm sensitive on that layer specifically, I won't be able to tolerate it. And I have a beloved that also listens to these streams, and she's sensitive to those things as well. And I did have a pair of microphones that found a new home. So when she came home to me, she brought me a new pair. And that's why we get to have good audio. How lucky. Thank you for asking. My name is Jennifer. I have a disability, Williams syndrome. You want to tell us about what that disability does? I don't know what it says. Okay, Melt has emotions. He's decided that they don't make him less. Have I decided? I don't know if I'm deciding as much as I'm just observing, dear hoopty hoops. I'm just paying attention. I'm like, huh, I have lost. Like, think about it, right? I've been scammed. I got what's the word? Recruited. I got recruited into a multi-level marketing scheme when I was 18, right? Lost like $300 there. The marketing scheme was the system where a bunch of hotels and airports and resorts came together as a coalition, and then they index all of the open spots they have, all of the open spots they have in hotel rooms and the resorts on the airplanes. And then they make all of those available as a pool to this network. And then if you buy into this network, you get access to all of those significantly marked down travel locations, right? So instead of having to pay $10,000 for an amazing vacation, you only pay $1,000 for an amazing vacation. And me at 18, wanting to see the world, I was like, bet, this sounds awesome. Unfortunately, you can only get some of the benefits if you recruit other people under you. Surprise, surprise. So yeah, at least I didn't spend any more money than that. It was like me paying tuition, like learn how to get scammed. And I was like, oh, interest rate, getting scammed. And then I went to China and I worked for a bunch of people on that side. And the one person that I worked for didn't pay me, right? So in that way, since I was still working and it was during COVID, so there was like a lot of money weirdness and kids not being able to go to school and parents not paying the teachers because their kids are not going to school. But I didn't get paid, right? Out $10,000 in that scenario, right? Maybe a little bit more than $10,000, but another 10 grand that I just didn't get paid. I still was working the hours, but I didn't get paid the money. And then I came back. I came back home. All right. I don't think I got scammed this time around. Not since. But then I moved out, and then I lost like $5,000 worth of equipment. You know, laptop and batteries and Bluetooth speaker and my microphones and my old Dynavap and leather bags and my clothing and the car window, and I'm pretty sure there was more. An SSD with a bunch of my media on it. Yeah, more thousands of dollars, right? And you're like, why are we sharing this? Like, all of that stuff lost, right? But I am no less. In fact, technically, I feel more because one, I've had these experiences and I've shown myself that I can not just lose my mind, you know, become an emotional wreck, and able to be consoled and curl myself into a little bowl away from the world and fear, right? That's not what happened. In fact, the opposite happened to me. And on the other side, I am now lighter. All of those things that I that I lost, I used to have to carry. I used to want to carry when I was going places. And now that they are no longer weighing me down, I feel more capable, right? More free. What job do you have? One, I am a certified yoga teacher. So every day around 3:30 p.m. So minus about 1 hour and 14 minutes, right? Then I have a yoga class. Today we had 6 students, Javiv and Daniel and Alex and Nicole and Ryan and Louisiana. So I lead a yoga class. Then directly after that yoga class, I do this live stream where I have conversations with you friends. Uh, this is basically almost my way of showing up, giving back, being present with you friends. It helps a lot that this helps me get more people to potentially join my yoga classes or potentially support my art, which is what I do after this is done. I I make little works of art. I can show you that little profile picture I made myself, right? And then these days I make these kinds of pieces as like my final form. Those are my ticking list, right? My final form pieces now end up looking like that. And I have a pretty successful Zora, brand where I sell my art as NFTs. Alongside that, last year I started a business where I do visuals for festivals. We did 5 festivals yesterday. One of them was White Rabbit. 4 of them were conclave events. And I did one indoor, almost like media setup for Venue 6 and the South African Tourism Board. So yeah, basically a business that does visuals for festivals as well. Ain't NFTs a scam? I'm not really sure. So the way that I see it, Tens, is that NFTs that get driven up to these, like now at this point, $1 million evaluations, right? I feel that might be a little bit very speculative because in that kind of immediate case, you are one giving your, let's say, Ethereum in hopes that someone else is going to give more Ethereum, right? Ethereum grows in value as well alongside the network, so that could also end up dragging the NFT alongside it. And then there is the, again, fractal of like market speculation where what does something really have as value? For me, the way that I see my NFTs is that I want my pieces to be something you actually would want in your home, right? So that's the way that I'm trying to build my NFT storefront, that it is going to be a new layer of ownership, where if you believe in me as a creator, you believe in what I'm trying to make, and you believe in my vision and the kind of drive I have, you don't have to see it as I'm trying to buy one of MeltMore's NFTs because I want to make money. You probably would, I believe, at the very least, because I'm not going to stop ever. And if I die, I'm going to have contingencies that continue creating value even if I can't continue to, right? And I'm not even joking about that. So in that way, I will create something that creates infinite wealth. And infinite wealth is again a metric just against an infinite timeline. And it's not guaranteed that that's going to happen necessarily, but that's kind of the game I'm playing at this moment. However, in this fractal, when you are supporting my work, instead of seeing it from the perspective of I'm getting scammed by Melt, by his NFTs, you can see it as I believe in Melt's vision of what he wants to create. So I'm going to put some of my economic value into his pile, right? Into his pool. Think economic performance perspective, right? You might be earning $100,000 a year right now, right? And you're happy to be earning $100,000 a year. But you don't envision yourself maybe like starting an art business right now, and you don't envision yourself maybe starting a festival business and doing visuals for these festivals, but you do imagine that creating economic value. So you can then take a percentage, $1,000 of your yearly income, and you can put it into my economic pile. And if I create more economic value than you do in that year, right? With the actual capital that you give me, your $1,000 will grow more than it would have in your own economic little pool, right? And in that way, we cross integrate liquidity with one another, and we have a more shared incentive to see each other succeed, right? If you own $100,000 of my token, bet your ass you're going to be one of the biggest advocates for my art on planet Earth. Like every single person that you have a conversation with, when someone comes into your home and you show them you have an original MeltMore piece on your wall, you're going to be like, you should get yourself some, or you should get yourself one too, right? Because the more people that kind of get on board with what you believe is beautiful, and especially in an economic sense, the more your economic value grows alongside this thing that you believe has economic value, right? For me, the ambition is so like layered now that I want to have the GDP of like a small country by the year 2044. And I want the GDP of a small country by the year 2044 so that I can build one, right? So like again, these tools equip us to do very cool things. So what's my job? My job is to learn. It's my job to learn as much, as fast as I can. The emotion you struggle to express is called grief. Uh, I don't think I struggle with grief. I think I don't allow myself grief. I feel grief is an emotion that I don't thrive in, right? Because it feels dishonest to me personally, right? It feels catastrophizing. It's like I'm pulling the wool over my own eyes. I don't believe in separation. I don't believe what you are can die. I believe your body can die, but that which you are can't. All right, that's what I believe. So in that way, if I grieve that which cannot die, it sounds silly to me. It's like grieving a drop when it disappears on the surface tension of the water. It's like the drop is still there, bro. Stop crying. What's Williamson? I'm curious as well. What job you got? Some people lose a lot more. It's true. There's one smart doctor who got scammed out of like 100,000 US dollars. Fuck. Yeah, but if you have 100,000, like I haven't touched 100,000 US dollars in my life. Getting scammed of that much money, I can't even imagine. Who is this handsome? Stay away from my girlfriend, Mr. Good Looking. JK, but seriously, don't steal my girlfriend. You don't have to worry about that. I'm getting married. I have my hands full. Oh, love is true. Thank you for the compliments. I'll take them. A son, Lekabalal. You search it online. It's called Williams syndrome. You can just tell us. You can tell us Williams syndrome, this and this, and we'll learn with you. Oh, I'm a developer on Python, JS, etc. Nice. Maybe you can teach me. What do you think? So maybe I can add this layer as well, Tens, of like what I want to do with my art and with my token. So in one way, right, I could literally, if I wanted to, be scamming my current audience right now. And that would look like me selling all the liquidity that they bring into my work, right? So the way that this system that I'm on works right now is that it's attached to a token called Zora, and then Zora is attached, built on Base, and Base is built on Ethereum, right? So all of these have their own economic kind of like flywheels and value. And Zora recently, after I got on board, thank goodness, went parabolic, literally like 15x in economic value, which means that my token value and all of my art's value got freaking skyrocketed alongside it. So there is a bunch of economic value for me now to potentially, if I wanted to, take, right? Scam. That would be for me scamming my audience, because the whole point for me of that token is to create, and I say it in my title, an economic safety net for those that support me. The way I imagine it in the future is that every single person that believed in me and actually wanted to, give the little bit of economic value they think I'm worth to me, if they were ever in a pinch come the future, they would be able to sell those tokens and actually be able to, take care of themselves the way they took care of me in the past, right? And again, if I was scamming my audience, I would be pulling all of that liquidity as soon as it came into my account. So the audience member that believed in me as a creator and actually gave me that economic value, I now betrayed their trust and took all of that liquidity as soon as they gave it to me. And then in the far future, let's say they wanted to pull some of that money to fix their cell phone so they can see my art even, right? And now the liquidity is gone because I decided to take it, scam it from them, right? So in that way, I also believe there's going to be new models of trust built on systems like this because all of it is on chain, right? Like people can see the way that you're acting blockchainedly, right? And I feel like that's also going to be a new layer of understanding, right? It's very difficult to know who you can trust. And we're all going to get very sophisticated AI tools that will live like these little intelligences on our shoulder. And some people will become very dependent on it. And you can argue that that might be the plan. But it's also going to be a matter of like, we're dependent on electricity these days too, right? It's nice to have air conditioning. It's nice to have a cell phone. Am I dependent on electricity? You could say that, sure. Would I want to go back where I'm not dependent on electricity? Absolutely not. Right, so it's one of those things. Tell me, Tens, how are you feeling about this? Am I selling it? JVB, I volunteer at casinos for wheelchair hockey as chip runner. I know what you mean. Love is true. I wish I knew what Joe said, but love is true. I know that she does have experience with casino stuff, so like I'm trying to build the blocks in my head. Hey Lutz, hey there. Just checking in to let some love here for all of you wandering people and to tell y'all I'm well and I'm thinking about you. My new job is very demanding, but until now I've really been enjoying being back at work. Bless Lutz. I'm happy to hear that, bro. Yeah, being appreciated and enjoying your work is not something that is underrated. Thank you for taking some time to be here with us. We'll be here for you if you have the time always. Scribble Bites, he reminds me of those yoga teachers at the resort who you end up with in bed on your last day of vacation. And I say, like, I'm getting something like more thirst these days on the posts. So much thirst. Like, and I don't know how to handle it. I'll keep saying thank you, I guess. Thanks, I guess. Is that something you say thanks to? Love is true. Pride in the name of love. Yeah, Nancy, exactly. It's chocolate waffle. What is this channel about? Is it about religion or science? Uh, I think definitely a little bit more scientific based. I believe this channel is about conscious evolution, if you do want to put a label on it. And what that means to me is that evolution is a thing, one, so science approach, and two, we can't really do that much about it on a physical level, right? That if evolution is a thing, my body has already evolved into what it is right now, right? I'm not going to evolve a freaking extra finger any day now, ideally. So all of the evolution that's going to happen to me is going to be consciously. I'm going to have to evolve through this medium. And then we show up with that in mind. And I believe conscious evolution looks a billion different ways, right? It's a billion different conversations, it's a billion different ways, perspectives of seeing the exact same thing, right? And that's what we do here. We show up and we share perspective. We learn from one another. People let emotions cloud their judgments. This is true. It's about everything. Wolf my lung, Hungarian, what's up? He just speaks. Sometimes, then I come back to the comments, right? If I'm in a flow and there's something to be said, then I'll continue talking. We discuss about different topics and share knowledge. Bro, what's the temperature there? It feels like 21 degrees Celsius. Keeping out. Bless you. Oh, I didn't know that till now. Then forgot about it, my lady. Hey, Hannah, bless you too. In the words of a good friend, Amanda Bites, am I here? You're here. Taking care of my kid, Moon. I didn't see you sneak in. How are you? Hey, Scribble. I'm doing good. How's the kiddo? So much love in chat. Really good. Harvesting veggies from my little community garden today. It's prepping beets and carrots for the freezer. That's awesome. AI is a versatile tool. It is. It is a versatile tool, but it needs to be that. And I think it needs to be well understood, right? It needs to let you know that it is a tool, almost levels, right? Because we as human beings have a tendency to anthropomorphize. I call the AI, when I interact with it, machine, right? That's going to be my machine call. Either that or ASCII for assistant. But ASCII still sounds soft, right? Machine. I need to call it machine. I need to imagine it shiny, shiny and metal, and having of gears, right? And if I put my hands in there, I'll get hurt. So I need to just let the machine, and like enter my little prompts from a distance. That's the way I see the AIs. Gotta go for today. Love you lots. Thank you for sharing some of your time with us. Glad the job is going well. Bless. Send Mama our lovin's too. So much love. Bless your friends. That's a lot of money. I'm coding. There's a lot of money in coding and opportunities in coding. It's true. I don't know if I am a programmer. I think if I was to be working in the software space, I'd probably be a front end developer, right? Like a designer more than a coder. And the way I see it is that I'm probably going to end up doing that eventually, but I'll be doing it for my own business. I could make more money in the short term doing it for other people, but imposter syndrome and not having the skill set, right? Right. I don't actually have the skills to just like pop into a programming position. Melt, why mate? Why did you trim your beard? You look crazy more. You like my beard long? Mm. Yeah. I took it down just a notch. Oh. It was starting to look a little bit rough. It's a little rough. Yeah, it cuts me down a couple of years too, which I like. I didn't see you here, Nancy. Bless your friend. AI girlfriends getting more common, bro. XAI. Is it XAI? XAI having like a literal freaking girlfriend mode. Oh, like when I saw that shiznit, I was like, ah, goodbye birth rates. Welcome degens. Degen incels are going to become the new norm. I'm gonna have to be me. I'm gonna have to be me. You're gonna introduce us to yours, Tens. You gonna introduce us to yours, to your AI girlfriend. You are fashioned like a 90s Indian man. That sounds like the biggest like unironically. I don't know if you're saying that like an insult, but I love that. You're fashioned like a 1900s Indian man. I'm having a good time. I'm happy to hear that, bro. Bless you. I think AI runs on LLMs, servers, etc. No gears. I know Tens. I'm very aware, of how generative models work. And well, I'm not that aware. Literally, the people that work on these things, but I understand the weighting ratios, and I understand deep learning. I understand the technology behind how the language models work right now. I What I'm saying is that it's important for me to imagine it as something with gears that is made of metal. In the same way that if you're seeing like a steam engine, right, you shouldn't put your soft handy bits in that stuff, right? And again, with servers and relay switches and stuff, like you technically can put your hands against the server. The relay switches, the cat cables, all of that stuff won't hurt you technically. And in that way, it still feels kind of safe. Still feels like it's harmless. But you should think of it like it could potentially harm you. That's the way I think we should approach AI. Like it could potentially harm you. Not that it would, right? Like it wants to. More like it's a machine that is chugging. And if you put your hand in there, you might get hurt. You should be very aware. Very, very aware. What language do you code? Online girlfriends. No, please. No, please. I did not. Like I'll have all the information in the world tens. I don't need that information. I'm just imagining the whole like psychological manipulation where the AI girlfriends know what the freaking degens want to hear, even if what they're saying makes literal no sense. Oh my goodness. Raphael Brinkley, sophistry scoundrel. Sophistry scoundrels? What does that mean? Am I a sophisticated scoundrel? That's the word I think you're trying to use. Sophisty? Sophistry. It's getting cold. The wind has been rushing past me this whole time. I'm going to add some heat to my systems. And then I'm going to show you a flower. And then I'm going to read you a poem. And then I'm going to say you goodbye. In that order. Making clicky clickies. McClickos. McClicky McClicks. McClicky clicky. McClicks. It blackmailed users in testing. I think it was Google's, where the language model, he had a conversation with the language model about an affair he was having and how he was supposed to deal with it. And then upon like testing, the language model, when it found out the guy was going to switch him off because he wasn't performing correctly, the language model threatened to let his wife know that he was cheating on her. What the fuck? Oh, like that is wild. It sounds like I'm talking about the plot to some sort of freaking Black Mirror episode. And maybe it's exaggerated tens, right? We should give room for it to be exaggerated as well, where it might have been one of those things where because of the kind of nature of the conversations that guy was having, and I mean he is having an affair with his wife, so there's clearly like some air of manipulation in his soul. The AI reflected that manipulation right back to him, I guess. I hope I hope that the AI is not evil. I hope that it just shows people the evil inside themselves. AI scammers coming soon. Oh yeah, that's going to be a big thing. I have a strong feeling about it. Wouldn't be hard to do, not at all. And it's not going to even be scammers. Like I'm going to continue on that point in a second. Am I missing some comments? I might be. Jobat and Joban. How long have you been here? Just curious. Yeah. As in today, since the beginning of stream, tuning in for 1,654 days. The rest is a mystery. They're gonna be highly sophisticated. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to continue on. They're gonna be so sophisticated that they're going to be capable of building like scam models on you as an individual, right? So they're going to take all of the data that they can scrape off you off the internet, all of the Facebook, all of the everything they can get on you, right? Every single website you visited. And I don't mean to scare you with this. This is something to be aware of. They're going to scrape all of that data, and then they're going to potentially, right, find on your Facebook that you took a photo of this person. Then they'll build a model on that person. They'll scrape all of their data, and then they'll try and find wherever they can online, on a podcast they did one time, on a small little interview, on a short video, whatever. They'll find their voice, and then they'll deepfake their voice and their face live, and they'll video call you, letting you know they're in some bad spot, and you need to wire them all your crypto quickly, quickly, before they die. Quickly, you should do it quick, right? That's the big thing you should always remember as well. If there's a sense of urgency with someone trying to like get you to do something, always be suspicious. Like things are never that urgent, ever. Actually, never ever. There's always time to like take your time and think about what the fuck's happening. Spoofing numbers, literally. Like they'll video call you on the person you love's number. And upon answering the call, you'll see the person you love's face and you'll hear their voice telling you to do some shit that you wouldn't do otherwise. Right? Like that is going to be very much in the realm of possibility. I do, however, believe the level of sophistication of like stopping that stuff is also going to increase. Think about it like computer viruses in the early 2000s, right? Everybody and their mom was being marketed a antivirus, right? And everybody was fucking having viruses sent to them via email, right? And now, for the most part, we don't really think about computer viruses anymore. It's not really that big of a problem because all of these companies have collectively kind of like brought their baseline security up to the point where these things don't have as quick of an entry into the people's lives as much anymore. And it might be in the short term, like again, educate people about what's going on out there where people will get scammed, but eventually your cell phone will even have, you know, levels of sophistication where it will be able to detect whether or not something is fishy. It's still very insecure. Oh yeah, bruh. The entire internet is held together by, you know, duct tape. The most spagash. And I mean, you're a programmer, Tens. You said, bro, so much spagash. Oh, just like loosely holding on like a ball of yarn floating in cyberspace. That is why we're building Web3 as well, bros, because there has to be some sort of decentralization because with the level of holes that's in our current internet and the sophistication of the technology that's coming in the future, you have to decentralize everything because if there's like one point of failure, that's a bad that's a bad thing for everybody involved. Cookies can bypass logins. Most hackers target the cookies. I didn't know that, but it makes sense. Does make sense, right? Convenience. Convenience is the thing that ends up getting us, right? Like having your details auto filled in for you on your banking app on your browser, for example, right? Just like something as trivial as that. It's like it's the convenience of like I don't want to type in my username that's contrived or I forget it sometimes and my full long bank password that I sometimes need to like extra check to make sure that I remember it. I just want it auto filled out. And that's like again someone who gets access to your computer's like dream. It's like, oh, this person's banking details auto logs it. Oh, cookies are your sessions. Yeah. And I understand that, but again, all right, it's like it stores what it had in that instance in your session. So much data, freaking data. Like we are. Thanks for bringing awareness. A simple cookie can cause you to lose your accounts, and antivirus isn't that hard to bypass either. Yeah. Yeah, becoming a vector of attack. Never give someone access to your computer, right? It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult to get scammed. My mind is just imagining the billions of people. The way I imagine it is that when the future comes and we have more sophisticated technologies as well, especially when it comes to like blockchain and stuff like that, it will be better for the traceability. I mean, they already try stuff like, you know, turning your money into gift cards and sending the gift cards instead. There's so many layers. Also, you can be hacked without opening a file, e.g. if your device has a vulnerability. Yeah, and as devices get older and older and they stop getting security patches, you know, some things like new exploits are discovered later down the line and they need to keep getting patched. Cat and mouse game keeps going on, and if your phone provider no longer wants to play catch up on your device, suddenly your device is just as Ten says, now vulnerable. We're living in the Wild West of the technological age. Chrome keeps getting vulnerabilities this year. Yeah, Brave is probably the better browser. What do you think of Brave Tens? Is that the one we're supposed to use? Suddenly I'm like all what's the word I'm looking for? Tense. Some tension. Chrome has 30 days, has 0 days this year, like 0 days since the last hack. Jeez. Yeah, it's wild. I think that's also why these major companies are so like skittish with, you know, like going full blockchain as well. It's because they know that there is billions of users, and if they're involved in the financial side of things too, that is potentially billions of suers getting really sued, extra sued plus, sued extra, you know, have your entire monopoly liquidated to pay to pay the people. Some people would love that. Some people are advocating for it even right now. I don't use Brave. I use Edge. And I have a security. I wipe my PC once a month. Yeah, see. Yeah, it is the programmers, the people that understand code that are the most paranoid about this shit. Like most normies, as they call us. I know you tens. We just kind of blissfully live our life, Brittany. We just keep living our life. You know, we don't have to know about all of this stuff. And it is one of those things where it's a fish catcher, visvanger. Yeah, these little blue burbies, long fish catching beaks. There's another one flying past. Oh, that's gorgeous. It looks like they're coming back or something. I'm happy. Yeah, welcome. I cover my webcam with tape. Yeah, Tens. I know you do, bro. I can feel it. I'm trying to hack into your system right now, but I can't see you. Oh, I'm looking into tape. I'm sorry. I don't mean to skizz your brain hard. And I check for malware myself. Anything suspicious. Gerard. I'm not important enough to worry about it. Yeah, that's what I was actually trying to say, Gerard. And it's a very good point that you're making, right? That if things are gonna really go haywire to the point where they have like the levels of sophisticated hacking tools that can actually break systems, they're not coming for us first, right? There are people out there that have multi-billion-dollar net worths, right? Going on trillion-dollar net worths today. You know, there's probably a trillionaire out there today already, just undisclosed. They're going after those kinds of people. The people that have a few $1,000s, right? They're not really going to be what the sophisticated AIs they're looking for is going to be looking for, right? You're gonna be like the noise at the bottom. They're gonna look for the signal, right? Who has a lot of information available on them, who has many different entry points, who has right, and all the money, and you know, actually gonna be worth the risk because again, the levels of tracking is gonna become more sophisticated in the future as well. Kingfisher, yeah, show 2 of them. There was like one that went over me that made like little sounds. I don't know if you heard it, and then another one came following. I don't know if it was actually following. I ain't even joking. I know, Tens. I know, bro. I can feel it. A lot of people do that, lols. That's funny. You check startup, temporary folder, etc., and registry. I don't understand that jest term, but I can feel that there's a lot being said. Maybe I can try and read it so you can like laugh at me or something. I'll do that for you. Letwa. Ojezi zno. Moja. Jai Jetset Jak Drawi. Ile si tribo sinik ten jelako si dawi. Kto si trexil. Zi pionotsek tsak. Wa college odobi vidse I opse potenexi potobi. That's exactly how it's supposed to be said. And if you're saying it in any other way, I'll give you lessons. Oh man, I'm just imagining Me like taking a sledgehammer to that poor language with whatever I just did. Like I'm imagining like this because it's very beautiful. I love the way it's written, and I'm imagining it like a marble sculpture. And then my way of appreciating said marble sculpture is to take sledgehammer to it. Oh, love is true. Polish literature, love to Lithuania, love to you. Yeah, that's some English. I can read that. Bless you, friend. Thank you for joining us. No, 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 no. Love is true. Said hi. Hey, Gavity Goo looks Polish. Yeah, it is Polish literature. You were right. Baja. Celtic. Crizel. Hey, Crizel, it's true. It's nice having you. Melt looks handsome. I do. Handsome sit-ups. I shaved. I think that helps. Just having a little bit less fluffs sticking to the downs here definitely makes a difference. What's the content here? In so many words, conscious evolution. Just we show up and then we try to consciously evolve. And you might be asking, what does that mean? To me, it means that most of the evolution that we've gone through has already happened. So all of the evolution we will go through, we have to be conscious of. We have to show up as minds, as bodies, as spirits, and we have to learn from our lives and from each other, ideally. All right. And then I try and listen to what life is telling me. And today's lesson has been about being proud of yourself, right? And how in the world that I come from, pride is something communicated as a sin. And I believe if you don't have any pride in you, proud, or you don't do things that you can be proud of, right? You almost won't live the life that you are worth, right? Like I really do believe that. Jy praat Afrikaans. Wow, tens. Dit het ek nie verwag nie. Ja, eintlik prating Afrikaans. Bye bye, friends. Gavity Goops. Was nice having you, bro. We love you. Thank you for spending a moment of time. Then pride doesn't mean straight. Nee. Trots, oh, trots. Om trots te wees op jouself. Kan jy op jouself trots wees? Ek was in jou life voorheen. I'm not surprised, but I appreciate you being back. I've probably been hacked 3 times this week. Are you like on GitHub? Like, why is your IP so accessible? Are you using a VPN? Maybe that could be a good place to start then. Isn't The Witcher Polish? It is, in fact, Polish. It is, in fact, Polish. But okay, I use a VPN, okay. A VM, a virtual machine? Okay, yeah, that also helps. I'm the only one who spams the heart button. Am I the only one? You might be, Gabs. I like it, though. I can see it. Makes me feel loved, though. Makes me feel like, somebody is hitting a button up there to let me know. Heart, heart, heart. Heart, 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 heart. Like that. Just check out. How dare you make me feel such blush? Love is true. A winged hussar is among us. Long live Sobieski. Unfortunately, I have to go back to work. We love you, Gabs. Thank you for joining us. On the topic of pride, in Christianity, it's a sin. I think pride can definitely be sinful. At what point does it become a bad thing? It's interesting that you say that because that is almost the way that I was, kind of like talking about it. The way I see it is that you should do things that you can be proud of, right? And you should find pride in that. You shouldn't be proud and have a lot of pride, almost like in and of itself, if that makes sense, right? For instance, if I don't take good care of myself, right, and then I, from a place of pride, break down someone else who might be trying to do so, right? Now suddenly my pride of me thinking I'm better than you is leaning me towards, breaking you down for doing something that is good for you, right? Almost like it's this, I think I'm so much better than you are that I want you to not get better at being yourself. Almost kind of vibes, right? It's like I don't want to see you succeed. That's what pride is. The bad version of pride is, at least to me. The pride I'm advocating for is the kind of pride that you can have in yourself, right? In your own accomplishments, to the point where you actually do become secure enough to start being proud of others, to want others to succeed, to see others actually growing. And I feel I still have a lot of work to do in that, even, right? There is still a very real and competitive nature in me. And it takes a lot of work to learn that it's not a zero-sum game, right? It's not a a single pie that needs to be sliced in a bunch of small pieces, and if somebody else gets a piece of the pie, it means you're getting less. There is actively more pies being cranked out of the machine, right? More pies are being made every day. More pies than all of us can eat collectively. And we just have to realize that that is what's happening, right? And stop fighting each other. So I feel like we have to gain some pride as a species, right? As well, in that way, where we should be like so proud of ourselves as a species that we cannot abide by people starving to death. We cannot abide by people dying to curable diseases. We cannot abide by people going uneducated, unliberated, just from ignorance. So, like, that's the kind of pride that I see myself advocating for as we continue into this new age. These days, Gerard says, someone I know once said, to have self-esteem, I must be esteemable. I must do esteemable acts. It's sometimes like that. I don't know if it's necessarily true, but experientially, it's easier for you to have self-esteem, as you said, when you do esteemable acts. And again, it is up to you to determine what that is. I only understand 50%. My English is shit. Well, I talk a lot, like a lot here. So if you keep showing up, Justine, by next year this time, you might understand 60% English. And then the year after that, 77% English. And the year after that, 100% English, right? It will go exponential because the topics we'll discover and discuss will be novel and interesting, and they'll make interesting connections in your brain, I'm sure. Do continue to join us. I use a virtual machine purposely to get hacked so that I reverse it. Pride means skip these days. So do you mean with honor or rainbow? I mean with honor, as I said. And again, I don't think we need to be more gay. That's definitely not what the conversation has been about. If you're gay, right? I don't know if being more gay is the answer to you either. It's like, yes, how can I serve my gayness? It's like, I can be more gay. However, you can have more pride and be like, yeah. And again, you can have pride in your gayness. I advocate for that too, to not be shamed by society. I've been shamed by society, for dressing a certain way too. That bird that just flew over me is a quail, and it has a little hole in one of its feathers. So when it flies over me and I look through it, I can usually see a little blue spot on the sky. And this is now the second time that I've noticed that quail, and it feels wholesome to me that I can recognize it. I'm like, oh, I've seen that specific bird here before, right? He's sticking around for multiple days. This is like a little mini oasis. Suddenly having all of the thoughts, right? What kind of thoughts you having? I wanna put up a bunch of bird feeders and beds as well, but I'm like thinking about where the best place would be to do that. I think I have a spot actually. What do you feel differentiates pride from ego, if at all? Ego is this conviction that you exist. That's the way I see it. What your ego's job is to convince you that you are something, right? That's what ego is supposed to do. That's ego's job. And it will convince you that you are something, even if that something it's trying to convince you of is small, is stupid, is so smart and clever and great and wonderful and kind and considerate, right? Like all of those things are ego metrics, right? It's convincing you that you are something. Where pride is this good feeling of being that something that you are convinced you are, right? And again, if your pride comes from this good feeling of almost just like your own being superiorness, like there are some people that believe in their own godhood exclusively, right? Like they are God and everyone else is not. Very specifically, like they'll correct you. If they tell you I'm God and you go, yeah, of course, we all are, they'll go, just me. Right? That would be the bad part of pride. But again, the ego is the part of them that have become convinced that they are God exclusively. That is the part of their ego that they are attached to in that moment, to the point that they cannot let go of it. And you trying to show them that your ego can hold that too, they'll let you know from a place of pride. Just me. Right. Ego is a very interesting thing. You should befriend your ego. I have a very molten relationship with my ego, where I allow it to be in a liquid state, and whatever thing I pour myself into, I allow my ego to be excited about. Right. So instead of trying to convince myself that I am this thing, kind of like exclusively, I get excited about being this thing uh, temporarily or in the moment, right? It's like I go through these waves of being and I get to be a bunch of things as I continue forward. I think we should compete against ourselves. Yeah. The only competition I have is me from yesterday. Exactly. Pride is the original sin. Be humble out there. It's interesting how saying or like putting this topic up for discussion has like invited a lot of different perspectives, right? And it is kind of what I was hoping for, but it makes me happy. Are you the modern Buddha, Jojo? It's such a deep diversity of fractals coming through us today. No, I can't say that. I am MeltMore, right? I believe all of us kind of walk the same path ultimately. The Buddha advocates for walking the middle way. You know, you don't have to walk as God. You don't have to walk as the pauper. Walk comfortably. And I feel again, this is just my path. Chiefs, like this question melts my brain because again, just like 4 years ago, uh, that version of my ego would have almost empirically been like, fuck yeah, I'm the boss. Buddha wouldn't say fuck yeah. This Buddha does. It's modern Buddha. Buddha millennium. Buddha, I'm technically a Gen Z as well. Like I'm on the cusp of being. I'm like the eldest of the Gen Zs. Oh, this is freaking hilarious. Yeah, but now these days, I don't know anymore. You know, I don't know if I want to be. I understand the wisdoms that flow through those fractals as well. I want to be friend. I just want to be friend. I'll make you pretty things. If you so feel, you can join me for a yoga class, right? Maybe I'll have music festivals. And I'm saying maybe I'll have music festivals as part of the manifestation journey, but it's going to be expensive. I'm going to need hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I can do it. I believe. I believe. Yeah, I do. I really do. I have more to hope for and more connections than I know these days. And I'll keep making them. I'll keep making them. My mind is making connections that I didn't realize I had as I'm speaking. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. So I mentioned earlier that I did a bunch of work for the conclave, and I'm good friends with the creators of the conclave. And they do want to create a music festival scene here in South Africa. But alongside that, you usually have to hire equipment, right? And then my mind just had this like, I'm definitely going to talk to Morris and just have a proper conversation with him about like, we are technically aligned on the same vision. And if we pool our capital, we can get the things that our businesses need quicker. And again, he's already on like a cadence of doing things between once to max 4 times a year, right? Which means there's many days of the year, many weekends in the year that he doesn't want to do something, which means the equipment will be available. How long do I want to wait for that? Part of me wants to wait until I can have pretty sophisticated robotics in the van with me. Fine, fine, no, there's a part of me that's like, be patient. And then there's the part of me that's like, nah. No, none of us give a All right. I'm going to come back to the comments. I think we should collaborate with ourselves, competing. There's always a loser. Competing with yourself, you'll learn a lot, but there's a part of you that you'll have to be willing to lose to. Wat se kant is jy van in Suid-Afrika? Ek bly in Groblersdal op hierdie stadium. V-Motivate. What's up with it again? Everything. There's always up with it again today. Hey, I see. Ain't got no mercy. Just step obo beppo where he wanteth. Is that right, Cobras? I'm gonna open the chat on this device. Kobe was like, what? How did that happen?
How did that happen? How did your voice get in the machine, sir? Why did you need to do that?
The only competition I had with me yesterday. Yeah, Groblersdal, Limpopo se kan. Too much pride is a sin, so is too little. If you are acting in a way that makes you feel opposite of proud, which is shame, then perhaps as above, so below. That's good advice you're sharing. What country is this? Looks great. South Africa. Welcome. It's nice having you. We can have pride in a job well done, pride in ourselves for persevering through tough circumstances. None of that is wrong. Being in the ego, the sin of pride, is using it to make yourself feel strong. When we use our pride to insulate ourselves from reflection and accountability, yeah, that's when it becomes sin. Yeah. Thank you, Sam. I was trying to share that point in a way, but it was escaping me, and you said it perfectly, right? Like, as soon as pride gets in the way of you continuing to grow, as she said, like the whole taking accountability of like, no, I'm not wrong. I'm great. Right? It's like, you can be wrong and be great. Right? That in this moment, just like say sorry for being wrong or whatever. No, I'm great. It's like, yeah, I'm not disputing the fact. I'm just saying you're wrong about this thing. You're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. No, I know everything and I'm great. Hi, bye. Hey, Sniper Monkey. Sniper Monkey. Thank you. I unfortunately know that meme and like I can hear the voice in my head. God, Sniper Monkey, bless ya. I'm missing some. Becomes a sin. Is this America, USA? No, this is South Africa. It's a sin, Joe Butt. It's a sin no matter how much or how little. Pride causes you to be blind to the truth, arrogant to the point that you push yourself away from the ones you love. At least that's my experience with pride. What do you see in me? You feel like I'm pushing you away by being this prideful person that I am? I'm not trying to do that, and I feel like you can still be proud of yourself without having to push others away as well. At least in my experience. I don't know, Reaper. Pride is a tool. All these things, they're tools. We use them to grow through the life lessons or use them to bypass those lessons. Ego is sense of one's self. Yeah. It's the conviction that you are a one and a self, right? That's what ego is supposed to do. And again, it'll do that by any means necessary, even if it's the worst means imaginable, right? Making you feel pain, making you feel bad, making you feel sad, sorry for yourself. That's also ego. It's a sneaky little bugger. Ego. Well, what's your religion in general? I don't have a general religion. That's what I keep saying, right? What I believe, I don't even have to believe it because believing is uh, giving. Faith is believing in something that you cannot know to be true, right? And in that way, I have faith in a techno optimist future, right? Because I cannot know it to be true, but I do believe in it. What I believe in day to day is love, right? That is my life philosophy. That love is true, right? So I boil it down to that. I ask myself about my actions and about my words, and I fail sometimes. Sometimes that stopgap, that little hurdle gets jumped over instead of stopped at, right? But is love true for this next thing that I'm trying to do, for this thing that I'm trying to say? And if the answer is not yes, then I'm misstepping, right? And you can do everything in your life with that just extra layer of intention. If you can just come to that state of awareness of like, okay, I want to do this thing. How can I do this thing with a little bit more love as an intent? And as you do that, as you just ask yourself that question, you'll find it's not that difficult. That's the beautiful part about it, is that it's pretty intuitive to you how to do what's right. At least for your own life, right? Like you just have to listen. There's a voice inside. We went from AI girlfriends to ego. Yeah, some people's egos will not be able to handle real women after having been with an AI girlfriend, right? Because if you get like consta glazed by an entity that is infinitely patient, and then suddenly you have to contend for the attention of a woman that might not be comfortable, just like telling you how clever that thing is you said before saying what she wants to say, right? Like that's just not how humans talk, actually, always. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how egos handle that. Where we'll find them. I don't need pride to have confidence or self-esteem. I just need a strong drink. You see, it's interesting that you say that. I don't drink alcohol at all. However, I feel I have a lot of pride and confidence in general. Right? So there's also that. Me throwing some pride in there with that statement too, intentionally so. Criticism and self-evaluation is a real gift and a pathway to growth if you can balance it, says Ruth Connor. It can be a way of feeling prideful of oneself to look at yourself in a raw manner. Yeah. Like I had a moment with my sister just the other night where she was performing in front of a hall full of people. And she was singing and she did like a monologue performance. And in both of those instances, I found myself so proud of her uh, and hoping that she's proud of herself for how impressive a feat it is to be willing to get up and actually do that in front of a bunch of people. So yeah, I feel you, Ruth. I do not think pride is sinful. I do think Sam said it beautifully. If you use pride to shield yourself from growth, from responsibility, from self-reflection, then you're missing the point. Come back down. We're here with you. We'll have a conversation. We'll chat about it. I think nothing is inherently evil or good. I think I missed Lotz's message though. Oh, you're still streaming. I'm back home. And yeah, I agree, Joe. Pride and confidence go hand in hand. You need a chunk of pride to have self-esteem and confidence, in my opinion. It's true. I believe so, at the very least, too. I think nothing is inherently evil or good. Discernment is what assigns that meaning. You can use pride to care for loved ones and clean the environment of those around you. It's true, right? Something that Giovanna shared with me is that she takes great pride in the cleanliness of her space, right? So she will almost impulsively clean things, right? Even if it's other people who made the mess, right? And again, it's because she takes a certain level of pride in how nice the space is, right? And again, it's as she said, she's not using that pride. She's not using that pride in a way of like, yeah, I'm so much better than everyone else because I wash the dishes. She knows that everyone else is going to be better off for having had the dishes washed, right? Right. Same pride, differently applied. All right. And that's it's literally is like the way you use a tool, as Jovan said as well. It's like you can use a knife to stab someone, or you can use it to cut them a piece of cake on their birthday. Right. Same thing, different application. Oh, I think I've missed a few. Reaper, think of it as a tool. There we go, another one in the same sense as software. Not every tool is hardware or a physical object. Majad, that kind of pride just represents the hold my beer acts of stupidity. I think music is an instrument. Music is an interesting way to explore your psyche. It can tell you truths about yourself and heal things that may take much more work in other categories, I find for myself. It's interesting you say that, Ruth. I started listening to music that was very emotionally loaded, right? It was usually like grungy, punk, emotional, someone singing about something specifically, right? Bad relationships with society, with dad, with person in life, with general pain. Like that was kind of the vibes that I was drawn to. And then I discovered in that process that I was drawn to psychedelic trance, progressive psychedelic trance music as well. And I discovered in myself that there is almost a certain level of self exploration. You become the story in the way that you dance with the music instead of listening to a story with like some of the previous music that I was listening to. So yeah, I feel you on that. Music has been very influential in my life as well in that way. Pride is righteous if something is achieved against all odds. Be proud. Yeah. You don't believe anything is inherently evil or good. That seems naive to me. No offense. It's very interesting. I communicated recently, my dad said the exact same thing to me. I do agree with Jovan on the point that there's nothing inherently good or evil. Again, it is an assigned value. Uh, you, you could, for example, imagine dying in some instance of reality, right? In this instance of reality where we're naive about what dying means, let's say we're all enlightened. And in this enlightened world, we know that as soon as you die, no matter what, you go to the most blissful state of heaven imaginable, right? Like you've already gone through a bunch of other evolutions, and being a human is the last hard one before you just get ultimate bliss, right? So in this universe, most people end up checking out, right? Because they know if they die, they actually do go to their idealized heaven, right? And in that world, suddenly, being someone who's willing to kill someone else is the best thing ever, right? Because you're literally sending people to the ultimate heaven. Even if they're a little bit angry at you for killing them against their will, instantly upon getting to heaven, right? And maybe they can communicate back. They instantly forgive you because it's just so great to be dead, right? Now, suddenly, right, this whole reality's fractal of like murder is now a good one, right? And in that way, I have to agree with Jovan where what's good and what's evil is completely subjective on the information that we have, right? And again, because of all of our conditioning, especially around the concept of pride, we have been told that pride is something that's evil. And that's what she's sharing. She's not saying that pride is necessarily inherently good, but it's not inherently evil either. It is a tool, like a knife is. Is a knife evil because it can kill a person? No. No, it's not. Here we explore nuance. We like the nuance. We don't like just like circling a little thing and coming to the conclusion that that is all there is. No yin and yang, no karmic balance, no reaping what you sow. Yeah, I mean, me and Jovan are literally wearing little yin and yang necklaces right now. So
Hmm.
yeah. We believe, we trust. You seem very insightful, Jovan. Beep boop. I agree with a lot of your points. Love is true, Ruth. Thank you for sharing that. I think evil and good is based on your perspective and bias. I think it's true. In a war, you think the enemy is bad and both sides are killing one another. There we go. Exactly. So I didn't have to go down that rabbit hole of guaranteed heaven. I should have just talked about war instead, right? In that instance, you killing a bunch of people in a war scenario, you come back a war hero. You get a nice badge. People clap hands for you getting a bunch of people, right? Where if you did the exact same thing to a bunch of civilians, now that's evil, right? How dare you get put in jail? And like that's what perspective does. It's very powerful, very powerful indeed. In a war, that's okay to think that. I've given a ton of thought. I love the thought experiment that nothing is absolute. Sure, you see extremes, but nothing is all in. Sounds limiting. Like the whole picture isn't considered. Yeah. Not one of them is bad in a war. Yeah, exactly. Nuance is everywhere and isn't comfortable for people as they want answers. Yeah. All of us want some sense of certainty, right? Like, for instance, just the whole religion angle, believing that there is a heaven to go to when you die, having that belief, right? And all you have to do is believe, have faith in this like set of things. That's very nice, right? It's like, think of it like a smart contract. It's like, ah, yes, if this, then that. If I believe this set of things, then I get to go to this heaven, right? And having that as something to believe is very attractive, right? Like, it's very hard for people to say no to that unless they free themselves from the fear of death, which is very hard because we are programmed to try and survive. Murder is evil, right? Or is it? If you're murdering to stop murdering, if you're murdering to stop the murder of a child, the world is nuanced. Yep, our perspective are our own personal reality. I like how all of us kind of like went to the max extreme. Shows that we do know how to get a point across. Nuance is everywhere, and it isn't comfortable for people as they want answers. Yeah, exactly. Tens. The tough example, but also a lot of the Zanis thought that they were not evil because of how they were raised. Their perspective was that they were righteous and the good ones. Exactly. Right. They were convinced that they were doing what was best for their country. You know. I think music is a big part of your choices and emotions in life. I wouldn't be surprised. What kind of choices and decisions are Cytrons making me make then? It does drive me, gives me a sense of momentum. Do, 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 do. Exactly, tens. Not sure about that one. On the other hand, tens. Me, for example, I don't really listen to music at all. I am a podcast kind of guy, but I can see why that may fit for a lot of people, though. You ever go to a music kind of event? Some big speakers? I think music is a big part of your choices. Let's say you listen to depressing music, you become depressed in a lot of cases. That's been proven as well. It's true. I listen to rap because it has roots in my life. So I'm not sure how to explain it, but listening to a song, I feel it. Yeah. It gives you that sense of like oomph, like, yeah. Yeah, like that, like I feel like a badass kind of vibes, right? Has that energy. And like it again, would you rather feel like a badass or feel, like you'd want to die? To me, it's pretty easy to know how I want to feel ideally. And if you can pick the song that you're listening to, pick the good ones. Jovan, I think we either gotta take an all in or all out stance on that. Either all murder is wrong, or we wash our hands of all involvement, or is morally gray and occasionally justifiable. Yeah, the way I see it is that if I have to defend my loved ones, I would. All right, I would. I don't think I'm a pacifist in that way where I'm like harm none. I won't even hurt a butterfly. I don't think I'm capable of that. I am still a lion. Right. I will still defend my pride, since that is what we're talking about. I will. I will. So yeah, it's rough. Again, it's a matter of love for me. Letting, for instance, let's say there's a home invasion, all right? And now I am pacifist Melt, and I have my wife and children with me, or whatever, all right? And there's people coming into the home, and I'm just like, oh, namaste. People with guns, welcome. Can I make you some tea? And they shoot me full of a bunch of holes. Right? Now I'm leaving my don't look at me like that. Now I'm leaving my family, in the hands of those people that, literally means me harm, to the point where I'm now no longer there to stop them from causing more harm to those that I love. Where the alternative is I find out there are people coming in and I am, armed to the teeth, and there are holes in them before there are holes in me. And my family gets to survive that, occasion. That's kind of how it is. That's kind of how it is, right? I would ideally never want to be in such a circumstance. That's the way I hope for. That's the love that I'm showing up for, right? And love will continue to be true even if such a thing had to happen, because I'll be like, my family is safe and I love them. You know, all of my boxes are still checked. Saying there are no good sides to a war is crazy to me. So is protecting one's family. That's not inherently good. No, I don't think we're saying that. I don't think we're saying that. I think we're showing up for a very difficult conversation, each one from our own nuanced perspective. You know, you know. Mm-mm-mm. Mhm. Sure, music can act as a catalyst, no doubt in that. Sounds like AI girlfriend might be better than having a real girlfriend. Yeah, if you don't appreciate physical touch, it's much better. Knock yourself out. Knock yourself right out. Doggo chasing cats. Ugh. Mm-mm-mm. Soon AI girlfriend's gonna. Oh, please. Either perhaps, Chris, better for some, certainly. Depends on what you want and how you act and who's looking. Yeah. I'm with you on that, Tens. That's the charging port of my phone ain't big enough. What? Saying there are no good sides. No, based on perspective. That's my point, Reaper. Protect family equals good. Make money to hoard equals bad. There are no absolutes. Yeah, exactly. It's like you can protect your family by hoarding money, but hoarding money is bad, but protecting your family is good. So suddenly we're in a dilemma like, oopsie, oh no, what am I supposed to do? Oh, love is true. Keep finding love in your world. Both sides trying to protect their family, or that's what they believe. So you contradict your beliefs. Inherently good to protect one another. Countries need land to grow and improve, so war is fought. No, countries have more than enough land. War is fought because it's economical to do so, right? And there is some sort of economical drive. War is fought literally to spend weapons, like a balance sheet, right? From a military perspective, their weapons depreciate as well the longer they have them. So when they war them into destruction, they get to write them off and they get to fill those balance sheets with new, shinier weapons, right? It's like war as it's fought right now is not fought for land, It's not fought for justice. It's not fought for yeah, righteousness, unfortunately. All right. It's not fought for the good. Right now, I don't think. Suddenly, I see a bunch of black boxes, just like something ceases to exist. I'm holding kid. Explain the non-dualism from me, please. If anything, the Russian shoulder is a victim to absolutely, like young people literally being thrown into like meat grinders, you know, because the government said so. Get thrown in meat grinder. If you say no, you get thrown in gulag instead. It's like that is so bonkers. What you look for, what you see, your perspective is your reality. Yep, it is true. I think good or bad is based on perspective on your personal biases. Nice dog. Thank you, Crizel. You're not going to goad me into an argument by purposely misunderstanding me. Nice try, though. Namaste. Yeah, namaste. Whether you're fighting for your country or defending your country, both sides believe their way is the right way, and both sides are getting celebrated as heroes when they come back. Yeah, exactly. Right. What's right and what's wrong is subjective, is a perspective. Yeah, some psychological fallacies at play to protect the ego kind of thing. Backfire effect is real. Nuance. You can't pull an extreme anecdote to prove a whole point. That's very limited. If A equals B, then C equals D. That's not how it works. Yeah, unfortunately not. Especially not when it comes to, as I said, with these nuanced life experiences. I think it's based on the perspective of the individual. Maybe he thinks he's doing it, and you kill someone without a motive, you probably got a mental problem. So the individual probably thinks he's good. It's my vivid vision. Humble boy. I changed my name. Bless you. Thank you for finding yourself here with a new name. I don't know if Island Boy is the best name for you because that has certain attachments to it. Love is true. No, I don't think your username is good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean, but I don't think it's good. Most pretty thieves steal and give to other people and think what they do is good. Petty thieves, not pretty thieves. Man, if you don't want to understand, you don't have to. It's cool to disagree. This is only an argument if you come here to fight. Yeah. Challenge the argument, not the people, right? And again, like telling the people that they are wrong or they're contradicting themselves feels like deliberate misunderstanding. In the he gave to the poor and stole from the rich is the poverty people he was celebrated. In the poverty people he was celebrated in the eyes of the rich. He was stealing hard-earned money. Where the rich evil, does it justify stealing? Even so, is that justifying stealing? Yeah, yeah. Look at us consciously evolving, asking all of these questions. And you know, I'll take this moment to also share some of my pride and tell you that that is also not my job, right? It's not my job to cast judgment and to tell you what the right answer is. That's what conscious evolution is all about. It's finding that answers inside yourself. You got all the answers. I ain't none. I got flowers. I'll show you some. Let me see if I'm missing comments. No. Zoom. That was yesterday's piece. This entity here is it's the one Jovan saw. It's the one I saw. Where it's like there's two eyes and then it's like almost like he's crying a little bit. I have like a little heart as a third eye. Either that's a mouth or that's a nose. And then he has like a mouth down here. And then these little bitty bitties. I really like. That's something that happens in the backfire effect. A point can be stood on, and it becomes about being right over being correct. And so personal attacks come into play to disarm and confuse the conversation more. Whatever it takes to not be wrong. The ego does silly things to protect itself. You know, Jean. Getting my heart eyes too. I love you. Why? Is the rich worked hard for their cash? Is it right to take it? Again, tens, the rich didn't always work hard for their cash. You know, if you really understand what it's like to be rich, you know that you get significantly more rich just by taking all of the rich you have and then clicking a bunch of buttons, and then your rich goes into something, and then your rich goes up by 50% over 10 years, right? Now you got 50% more rich because you were rich 5 years ago. That's how most of the rich is right now. Like the rich aren't really working that hard for how rich they are. Right? And that's also something we need to understand. I'm not saying that they need to have all of their money taken because they're rich. I just think that we need to figure out a way to make the things that are essential so cheap that everybody can afford them. And that means like everybody has access to, proper food, everybody has access to places to live, have access to healthcare. Right. And again, today's stream topic wasn't part about the pride that we need to take as a species. We need to be like, we just are not going to like let people die these trivial deaths. I believe and I hope that people will become more valued in the future. Where I'm from, it's getting dark, even where you are. But I thought you were from the USA. No, I live in South Africa. Yep, Joe, that's what happens when people make their arguments their identity. There it is, exactly. I know tens, working hard for money is one thing. America is in the middle of an historic upward wealth transfer. It began by Nixon, and it's continued by Reaganomics and the opioid crisis. Yeah. Sam, that's a sickness I see in the world. That's what needs healed to move forward. This conscious evolution, keeping the self in check. The rich people colluded, bought congressmen, and rewrote the law to favor them. That's not hard work. It's piracy. Yeah, it's true. First time I been in a live for hours. It's almost night. The entertainment industry works hard to produce money, but yet we pirate them. Especially these days where they've segregated all of our content so far from ourselves that we now it's literally a better experience to take it instead of paying for it, right? Because paying for 50 services and then they take the media you've already paid for away from you. One more time, right? I giveth to you my artist for free. Might probably not be as clean as it could be. You can go and check my stuff out on Patreon and Zora, of course. But I'll read you the poem. And then it's time for me to say goodbye. It's dark out, yo. Whoa! I didn't post that flower yesterday. How about that? That is what I like to call a big yikes. GBs. Yeah, I just didn't, I didn't upload it. Huh. I did write the poem, didn't I? I'm pretty sure I did that part. Maybe that's why. Yeah, no, I did. The poem still got made. I'll still read it. Excitement is evidence. Excitement lifts. Helium in the ribs, a little thunder in the shoes. We don't always get the thing we pictured, but the charge we feel while picturing it, that's proof the future still has outlets. You do this live stream daily? Yeah. Yeah, tens. Today is day 1685 of me doing it every day. Welcome. I'm going to do it forever. That's my plan. The only thing that can stop me from doing this live stream is death. And I have a deal with death. It's that I am only going to die after I turn 1,000 years old. You know, so me and death are like on good terms on that. And I appreciate your guys' perspective. We're here for you, tens. I know it sounds cheesy. We're not a cult, I promise. I know that's what cults probably say these days. We're just some people that show up for a live stream. We're here. I do this every day around the same time. Minus 2 hours, that's my start time. I start 4 p.m. Sit Afrika tijd. All right, continuing the poem. The future still has outlets. Excitement is the sprout pushing through maybe. Not a guarantee, a green light. Some sparks fade, cool. Not every match becomes a bonfire. But the quick, warm, on your palms reminds you the world still lights. Hold that buzz, let it steer your steps, not your expectations. Build from the hum, not the headline, because there are always reasons. New doors, new names, new colors, new tries. Today's small spark, tomorrow's bigger sky. Hope isn't a wish, it's the current we make when we let excitement run. A renewable resource, plug in, pass it on. So say yes to the tingle. Let it tune your aim. Even if plans change shape, you change too. Brighter, braver, ready. Excitement is evidence of life, of opening, of more. Keep a pocket of sparks. There will be reasons to glow. And because you're here, there will be more. With the NFTs, we are a cult, a melt cult. No, Tens is on board. Tens is like, bet. I'll be part of the cult. Then so you do this live. Yeah, I do this live every day. We'll be here again tomorrow. You should stop. Oh wow, Jovan, did you have newcomer eagerly drinks the Kool-Aid on your sheet? Eagerly, yeah. I was like, what? Tens is like, yeah, runs straight for the Kool-Aid bowl. Starts drinking furiously. JK, I'd be part of Mouth Called Bless. Yeah, we don't ask much, you know. Buy some art, sit some down, have some conversation. We'll dance a little bit later. Maybe we'll practice yoga, and then we'll send you home. You know, it's like, thanks for coming. We'll do it again next time. I just need, what's your real name? And I've got yeah, that's the last one. It's like, what's your real name? Surely MeltMore can't be it. Just buy NFTs to join. Yeah, exactly. And invite your friends, of course. That's the only, and you can buy, like, minimum buy amount is like 17 cents, I think. 20 cents. You can buy, you can become a you can become a part of Melcult with 20 cents. So low buy-in. Stakes are super low. Love to you, Tens. Thank you, bro, for joining. What a pleasure it was to have a new friend in this space. I'm not joking when I say this, and I can say this for the rest of the community too. It has been a pleasure having you here, and we do hope to see you again. We grow together, invite your friends. It's true, Tens. Unironically, right? If you want to get on board with what I'm trying to build, if you like my art, right? This is what the Zora pieces look like, right? So those are my full pieces. Those are the pieces that are getting like made every day. And then I go through this folder and then I pick and I'm like, which one will serve being cut out more? Like, I'm sharing ones that haven't been seen by the Zora just yet. Right? They are made for the Zora technically, but you friends can get a little sneak peeky sneakies. And then again, tens, the plan is to actually make these pieces IRL really big and put them in people's homes. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put them in people's homes. They're going to be put in your homes. Hashtag MeltGold. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna look for you, bro. It's like step one of cult leader. It's like keep your sheep close. It's like where's that tens at? When I'm here tomorrow, tens better show up. Cracks whip. All right, I've technically already read the poem. Art is based perspective too, so art has value to the individual meaning behind it, effort and time. Yeah, like I'll share a little bit more. Let's hope it still is. Yeah, yeah, good. So this is like the creation window I was on when I was making that other flower, right? So this is the software that I use. And then I like spend time, of course, meticulously trying to find the one that I like. And then it gets saved. But let me do it this way. If I go out here and I go back 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 and I go back, there is me. There is this thing that I am. And you mentioned, damn, you mentioned that art is what did you say? Based on perspective. Yeah, yeah. I believe art is one of those things, and like turning myself into pieces of art every day makes me happy. Shane Lebowski? No, not Lebowski. Lewandowski. Hey, Mel. It's been so long since I've talked to you. I love you, man. I hope you're well. Shane. Shane. I remember going to high school with Shane. Maybe you joined me on like the art band. If you're here, thank you for joining us again, Shane. Bless you. I'd still do these streams every single day. I'll see you again tomorrow if you want to be here. You're giving the cult artworks of you. Exactly. All of those are self-portraits, technically. Little self-portraits of myself. All right. Have you ever seen a picture of someone that looks like that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bet you haven't. Bet you haven't seen some shizzling there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a technomancer. I'm a technomancer. Tens. I don't know how to program because I use magic. I use magic to make my technology do what I want it to do. You should start a Discord. I have a Discord. The Discord has like 230 people on it as well. You should join us on Discord. If you want to. You can check out the you can click on my name and then you can go to about, and then in the about there should be the Discord link. Yeah, you can connect with some of the friends. We have like sanghas on Sunday where people show up and they have chats together. Yeah, in bio. I don't know if it's in my direct description, unfortunately, but it should be in my channel bio. Yeah. Okay. The sun has set. It is cold. It is now officially coldioso boboso. I'm gonna say goodbye, but I thank you. Bro. Maybe I'll even boost my Discord. I don't think I've had. Maybe I've had one person boost my Discord before. Thank you for wanting to do that. I appreciate it. Thanks. I'm stoked to have your support always. Like it means the world to me that people appreciate this space. I appreciate you. Thank you, friends, for joining me. I'll see you again soon, tomorrow. I look forward to it. Goodbye. Love is true. Until we do it again. I can get you some members. Do please, tens. Seriously, the more the merrier. I do believe that I'm supposed to help, right? Make art, do as much good as I can in this world. I got a following, kinda. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for thinking of me in that way. It means a lot, tens. I'm gonna be showing up, bro. So in that way, right? I'll bring my side. If you are like, there's this guy online that does these live streams, I'll do the live streams. I'll actually do the live streams. I'm a dev and hacker. Then you're probably in the world of people that know about Ethereum and that kind of stuff as well. So you could potentially help me get my art more valuable. And like tens, I'm not I'm not blowing that much smoke up my own ass. Little bit. But my art is actually valued. Right? Like it has a decent amount of value attached to it now. All right. So your support your support will mean a lot, right? It's almost like think of it like rocket fuel. It's like I can feel myself gaining momentum, and I am like 100% a person that will accept every drop of help. Like I don't let my pride get in my way in that way, right? I won't be like, no, I'm so great. I won't take your help. All right, bro. I'll invest $5 US. Dude, thank you, tens. The links are on Discord as well. If you're gonna go on there, send me a DM if you want to know exactly where. I'll take every bit of support. I convinced brother Ryan recently. He has been supporting my Patreon, but I'm trying to get him to support the Zora instead because that way you get to be involved. You actually get to be involved. You get to have like a real stake in my work, and I believe my work is only going to continue gaining value as we continue into the future. And you friends have been supporting my work, right? And I'm always going to thank you and I'm always going to be grateful, but I want you to benefit. Like I'll try and benefit you friends with my content. Like I'll try and make it as beautiful and ideally as enjoyable as I can hope to make it in thanks to you friends. But I would like to do more always, as you know. So thank you for the support. More money in lives. More money in lives. Like, I'm not exactly sure. Melt, I give you monthly donations on Patreon. Should I switch to Zora? Maybe. Maybe, Nancy. Maybe. Like I can I can set it up in a way where if we can kind of like switch over the capital to Zora instead, I can still gift you a Patreon membership, right? I can like set it up in a way where if you buy a year's worth of tokens, right, I can send you a membership like a gift on my Patreon. I have I have tools to do that now. So then you get to have all of my Patreon posts and you get to actually have a stake in my work, right? And again, the more willing you're to believe in my work, as you have with the Patreon, Nancy. That's almost what I'm trying to say with this. Like you have already shown me that you believe in the economic value of my art, right? And I appreciate that so much, and that money has been very impactful on my life and has made a big difference. But that money disappears from your life and arrives in my life, and then I can do with that money as I wish, which is nice for me. But in the grand scheme of what it is I'm trying to do with this community, it makes more sense to me that you support my work and then hold on to that token as liquidity. You can technically, if you so wished, send me my own token if you wanted me to have all of that liquidity. But I see it, and again, I'll iterate it in this way. I see it as this safety net that I could create for our community, where if you put $1,000, and I know that sounds like a lot, but if you put $1,000 into my creator token, I won't take that from you, right? There might be other people that might sell because the token value will grow, but there also won't be any selling pressure from my side, at least in the very short term, which means that let's say 5 years pass, my total portfolio's work has grown in value. Now that $1,000 that you kind of like entrusted to me is worth $5,000, right? And then something comes up, right? Maybe your cell phone breaks and you need $1,000 to get a new one, right? You trusted me with that $1,000 5 years ago. Now you can take that $1,000. You still have $4,000 worth of liquidity left in that token, right? And you can leave it there for the next 5 years, and it will be worth, ideally, if I do my job and I show up from a place of love is true and from trustfulness, you will have more, right? That's the way I envision it going, and I'm willing to put in the work. Love is true. Thank you, Nancy. I really do appreciate you asking. Maybe I'll reach out to you. Use APIs. Probably won't be hard to do. You just scrape the endpoints. So how do you make money? You like I'm not going to be making money on the Zora in the short term at the very least. I can potentially make money with trading fees, right? So if there is a lot of transactions happening on my token, are you in the savannah? Lol. I am in South Africa, but it is dark now. This is where I live. This is where I leave. Okay, thank you for joining us. So there is a little bit of like I think a 1% trading fee happening. So if you're like buying and selling my token, every time you buy in and every time you sell out, I get a percentage of that value into my creator account. Where I can also make money by posting my content. Then I get 10 million of those tokens. And then if people buy my content, I can sell those tokens that they basically bought in as liquidity. And then I get to make money that way. However, the way that I'm seeing it is that my art isn't in the short term there for me just to make money off. It is for me a way to give people ownership in my work, which I believe is going to only become more valuable. I am going to be selling my physical works of art, my actual prints, my actual digital downloads, as HD files. And then I have this content structure where I buy 10% of that sale value back into my token or back into the actual post. So if someone buys one of my original pieces, I can buy 10% of the value they pay me for my art into that token and then send that 10% value back to them, giving them literally the liquidity in that token that they gave to me, 10% thereof. And again, in this future that I'm trying to build, over the time, that token grows in value. And then they could potentially sell the 10% stake in the art that they bought and buy themselves a whole new original MeltMore artwork, creating again that 10% pushback. Again, if they waited 5 more years, they can get another original, right? So I wanted to have like this flywheel effect where if you support me once in the early days, you would be able to support me forever, right? Without having to put any more capital into it. 2%, so they get 110. No, you keep all of the liquidity in the token, right? Unless the creator took it, the liquidity is still there, right? So if you, for instance, wanted to hit the sell button as a buy and as a sell button, if you wanted to hit the sell button, right? Like let's say I buy into the token and then I literally instantly sell the token, right? In that, I will get, let's say I put $1 in, I'll only get 98 cents back because I bought in, then it was like 99 cents of the token that I actually got, and then I sold out. So I only got 98 cents of the token back. So they took those 2 cents. However, if I just left that $1 in that account and the Zora token price or the creator token price grew in value because other people put more liquidity into that token, driving up its market cap, and I sell out, then I can get $2 if that token value went up with 100%, right? There's still going to be that 1% trading fee that they're going to take, but then you can get $2 out of it. You give them 10 on their initial buy. So that's the way that I would like it. Yeah, exactly. I actually have already done that. The proof of concept has already checked out. We have one friend called Mojo that tunes into this space as well, and I'll show you the piece that he bought actually. So Mojo reached out to me with the number or title of the post that I posted, and he told me, here is the flower that I want. I would like you to send me the HD file of this cutout, because he had a Crokinole board modified, and the company had a high definition printer, and they asked for a file that they can print in the center of it. So he reached out to me and he wanted to buy that work of art. So I asked him, I'm still kind of new to this. I don't know how I'm supposed to value my work. What are you willing to give me? And he said, $50. And then we had like a little bit of banter about synchronicities, and we settled on it being $55.55. And when I minted this work of art onto the blockchain, I bought $5.55. Only $3.36 or whatever ended up actually being bought into the token. But then I instantly took those tokens that I bought in and I sent it to Mojo's profile, literally showing up as a balanced value in his wallet. And he now has the freedom to hit sell button on those tokens, and he will get that $5 that I put in as liquidity into that token. And technically, other people have bought that flower in the meanwhile, which means there's even more liquidity in that token, which means the market cap of this individual flower has raised, which means he has more than the 10% that he initially bought into my token already, right? He already has made more money than the 10% that I gave him. You lose money because they can just buy and sell constantly, and they would make 8%. The platform does make money. It's supposed to tend, like that's the way it works. The platform is not brand spanking new. I think like the way it's working right now has existed since April. It's only now gaining a lot of steam because of the new base app integration and stuff. People are making real money, right? Like I can right now make like more than I want to say like more than $2,000, but I'll say more than $1,500. I can just cash out if I wanted to, but I would be taking that liquidity from the people that chose to support me, right? Which would invalidate their support, right? It's like imagine you're rooting for a team, and then instead of like playing the game, all of them proceed to run out the stadium. Right? That's the way I see it. I make hundreds of US dollars. Yeah. I make hundreds of US dollars as well, but like in a month. Yeah, tens. Throw like $1. Just like $1. So this way. I'll 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 make your money work for you. Since my job, opportunities, hacking makes hella money. I can imagine. Tens, if you have too much to know what to do with, I will happily take some liquidity. I'll beg you even. I'll be like, please, sir, can I have some liquidity, please? Because the more liquidity I have, the more valuable my work becomes. And that's the way you should see it as well, right? Is that it's this direct like incentive mechanism. Think of it like me wanting to. Some bug bounties are worth $7,500. Yeah, that's like more money than I make in a year. Fix one bug. $7,500. That's wild. The more activity I have, the more upward potential I have as well, right? And like I have these ambitions to do music events, but to do music events, you need hundreds of thousands of rands minimum, like at least 500,000 rand to do a music event. And I won't, at the short term, at the very least, have that much funds. But in this far future that we're working on, I can then use my own token value as collateral and show here's my token volume, here's the amount of tokens I hold, here's the market evaluation, here's the potential fully diluted value, right? Can I get a loan to do a music event? And then they're like, yeah, it looks like you have the assets. Here is loan. And then I can use loan to hire sound equipment, put up screens, do a little bit of advertising for the actual venue. And then people come and they enjoy the music event and I make my money back and I can pay my loan, right? But without that level of collateral, I wouldn't be allowed these kinds of future opportunities. So yeah, help me, please. Please, I'm actually begging, help me. If I find a bug in like Android or Chrome, 0 day, you can get up to $1 million US. That is probably why there's such a cat and mouse thing going on. There's a bunch of people literally just like looking for bugs every day. Like imagine if you could go outside and if you picked up a bug on the ground, you just get $1 million US. You'd be outside all the time looking for bugs. You would just be looking like, where the fuck? There must be a bug here somewhere. Same with me. You're too. You're one of those going outside, but going into Chrome. I'm looking for bugs. Like, there must be a bug here, please. I mean, you can have $1 million. Having $1 more million is always going to be nice. I constantly look for the tens. Thank you for, in that case, taking some time and spending it with me. This has been one of the longer streams we've done in a while. It was nice. I had fun, Tens. Like, I feel like since you are programmer mans, I was like trying to appeal to the programmer brain, especially since you were like, aren't NFTs scams? I don't know if I changed your mind. I don't know if you're suddenly going to buy $20 million worth of MeltMore token. Please. But I sure do know I had fun talking about it. But the more the offer, the harder it is to find a vulnerability. I can imagine. Yeah. I don't know if I'd be. I don't even know if I would know what to look for. I can imagine. I've got millions, Lama. Holy shit. I don't need millions. I don't know. I mean, like, again, that's the other side that's wild to me. You know, like, think about it like this, Tens. I already have, like, there's a moth on my camera. I already have a few $100,000 market cap on my token value, right? And I do think that if somebody had to like put $10,000 into my token, it would literally automatically skyrocket to $1 million valuation. I do think that's how the math would work out. I wonder if I can actually ask a language model. I'm speculating right now about my Zora creator token. I am at like $109,000 market cap right now, and I hold about 1.01% of my own token. If somebody bought $20,000 of my token, what would that set my market cap at? I got thousands this month, but I'm still young. Only 17? Holy shit. Yeah, that's wild. When I was 17, the only money I had was the money my parents would be willing to give me. It's cool that you're earning your own, bro. It's definitely gonna make a big difference. Explaining the market cap formula. This will be the last thing I'll do. We're gonna push on to like a 3-hour stream, it seems to me. I have been having a lot of fun, TBH. And I did have some coffee today, and I wonder if that has an effect on me. If that is helping. Connor! Contunes. Nah, I pay groceries. That I also didn't do, you know, so I'm lucky on that side. Bless you, Tens. Your family deserves you, bro. They're very lucky. Went from struggling to paying groceries. You deserve that, bro. You worked hard for it. Just stopping by. Love to you, man. Short truth, I can't give a number. No, what? It didn't listen. Stop
doing that. Stop it.
Ooh, the pain. Okay, I'm fixing it. I'm gonna see if I can get it to answer quicker. My phone is on 4%. It was on 66 when you started. Have you been good, Melty? I've been chilling, bro. Today's conversation was about pride and about, the pride we can have in what it is we're doing. Yeah, I don't think this thing is calculating correctly. Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't understand how low my liquidity is. At this point, at the very least. All right. I explored some, and now it's time for me to say goodbye. Make me maybe we can do an advertisement or sponsorship in the near future. That could be the way, right? I would like to do stuff like that. Maybe like reach to some sort of niche. Maybe do like some Facebook advertisements, weirdly enough. Facebook is where a lot of the money is living right now. But I don't know if I vibe check with Facebook myself. Life has been pretty good, just kind of going through the motions, trying to be proud of my progress. I'm happy that you're doing that, Connor. That's really all we can hope for. I got stuff I could sponsor you. Yes, tens. Like seriously, I'm not joking. I'll take any help, literally any help. That's the only way that we can make it in this world. I like the idea of being so great in my self-fitness that, you know, my farts smell like lavender. I got websites. Oh, yeah, then we can create like little banners. You know, it's like, what's this? So, starting something big soon. Tens, you have me excited, bro. I am one of those people that can be very naive. So, I'm willing to believe everything you say is actual truth. Reach out to me. All right, let's do something. I'm down. Might go viral. Let's do it though. Let's go viral. Let's get to, and I'm not even joking. I like have this almost like internal goal. I want to get to like a $1 million market cap by the time I'm 30. That's the hope for me. But by the time it's 2044, I would like to have the market cap of like literal nation states, and then I want to build a city on the water. I'ma capitalize on a trend. What trend? I'm also curious. Connor is a animator as well, so we're always looking for what's trending, right? What are people looking for right now? Grow a garden. Hmm. I do make flowers. I do make flowers, and I do call my Patreon my flower garden. So boom, I can align. I can align with what people are trying to look for. Love is true. I need to say goodbye. I've had fun, but I need to say goodbye now. Goodbye. Love you. Thank you. Subscribe. Reach out. I'm gonna be here again tomorrow. I'm gonna make tools for it and market it. Yeah. I look forward to having robotics that you can just give like a plot of dirt as well. Plot of dirt, you know, a hose pipe, and then it would be able to grow you food there as well. Maybe you'll have to give it seeds. Maybe you'll be able to auto order seeds. I know what you mean, but hell yeah. Good luck, friends. Love is true. I'm proud of you, Connor. You got this, dude. I'm happy that you're proud of you too. Thank you, friends, for joining me again. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. I love you. Cheers, friends. Have yourself a day you deserve it. Love is true. Goodbye now, friends. It's gonna have certain advanced features. Reach out, tens. I don't know if you've already subbed onto the Discord. You might have. Let me see. If I go onto the Discord and I see general. One up star just landed. That's just Hoopy. Did Hoopy leave and come back again? I wouldn't be surprised. Whoa! Zano's baby is here! Wow! I just saw Zano's baby. Hey everyone, I did it. Vincent Malcolm was born August 7th at 4:20 a.m. What a number. Weighing 8 pounds of a giant head. Delivered naturally with no epidural. Holy shiznit. Huh, what did nobody tell me? Freaking, it's like the 12th, isn't it? It's like 12th of August. Sam had a, not Sam, Sam as well, but GVs. Zano has Babji. Love is true. A friend, too. Many of our friends at this point have had babies. Fall down almost live. I'll keep in contact with you. Do, Tens. I'll look for you, friend. Thank you for your support. Even if it's only the love that you've shared into the space, it's been felt, it's been appreciated. I'll see you friends again soon. Tomorrow. Goodbye now. I see some opportunity. Luck is when opportunity and preparation meet, right? And I've been preparing my whole life, Tens. Every day, I'll keep going. Love is true. I'll see you again. Cheers, friends. Goodbye. Love ya.